Hi guys, how's it going? My name is Anife. For those of you that don't know me, for those of you that do, hello, welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. It is officially event season. We've got proms coming up, we've got weddings coming up. No matter the event, this is the video for you. I'm gonna teach you all my tips and tricks to make your makeup last all night and to photograph beautifully. So let's go ahead and get started because I feel like this is gonna be a long one. You wanna make sure that your skin is perfectly prepped. If you even wanna take it a step further, I would exfoliate the night before. This is a really good option. This is one of my favorite exfoliants. It's the Paula's Choice 2% BHA. Just makes my skin feel so smooth, like a baby's ass. The perfect canvas for some makeup. And then you're gonna go in with a moisturizer. I'm gonna go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream, but you don't have to use this. This is a little bit spendy. I love how this looks under makeup. My only thing is that it takes so long to sink into the skin, and if you don't wait long enough, it can make your makeup pill, which drives me crazy, and you definitely don't want that before an event. You can also go in with an eye cream or just use your moisturizer. Honestly, I feel like they're the same thing anyway, just marketed differently. I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Eye Rescue, but you can use anything that's hydrating and works well under makeup. But again, just your moisturizer will do. At this point, I also like to go in with some sort of illuminating product. This one is one of my favorites. It's the MAC Strobe Cream in the shade Pink Light. I just think this looks beautiful under makeup. It really gives you that lit from within glow. By the way, guys, any products I mention are just examples of something you can use. It doesn't have to be exactly this. You can just try to make it work with what you already have. I'm also gonna bring that down my neck and a little on my chest so that those parts of me are glowing as well. I also like to go in with a primer that's gonna help make my makeup last even longer. This is the MAC Studio Fix Mattifying 12-Hour Shine Control Primer, and I'm only gonna apply that in areas where I get oily. For foundation, there's so many options you could choose from, but here are two of my favorites. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. This is full coverage. It's really gonna make you look airbrushed, but it's not the kind of foundation that's gonna look like skin. With this, it's gonna be obvious you're wearing makeup, but that's kind of the point. The point is to look very, very perfect and airbrushed, and honestly, I really, really love this one, especially for an event where I'm gonna be photographed a lot, but it can be a little bit dry, so if you're on the drier side, this is a really good one. It's the Makeup Forever HD Skin. Now, this entire line is like formulated to look good on camera, so you can't go wrong with this. It's a little bit lighter, medium coverage, but still buildable. Looks beautiful on the skin. It has that like skin-like finish. I don't even know which one to go for. Maybe I'll mix both just for the sake of today's video. I'm just applying the foundation with my finger. I would try to avoid any SPF in your foundation though, just because that can cause flashback. Now I'm just pushing the product into the skin with a brush. I find I get better coverage with a brush compared to a beauty blender. And I really want to look flawless for this event. Also, the camera captures everything, so you really want to make sure you're getting your neck, your ears, and also behind the ears. Also, don't forget to blend it into the hairline. If you're breaking out like I am, what I would do is start with a thin, even layer around the face, and then anywhere you need a little bit extra coverage, just go in with a tiny bit more product. Next is cream contour. Again, you can use anything that you like. I just like to work in 2 layers always. First a cream or a liquid, and then a powder. That's just, whoops, dropped it. That's just gonna help make sure your makeup stays on all night. This is the Milk Makeup Sculpt Stick in the shade Toasted. I love this shade. I think it is beautiful for contour. And I'm just picking up the product on a BK Beauty 113. And I'm just going to press that into the skin again. And again, we wanna make sure that's blended into perfection. Also, picking up the product with the brush first is going to make sure we're not going in too heavy-handed. Typically, I don't really do jaw contour, but we'll do it for the sake of this video. But again, we want to make sure it's perfectly blended. You can also just go over it with your foundation brush just to make sure everything is blended perfectly. I'm just using a smaller brush to apply my nose contour. This is a BK Beauty 205. Now we're gonna go in with our cream or liquid blush. This is the Say Do blush in the shade Rosy. I just think this is the perfect shade for my skin tone. And I really like the Say Do blush formula. It blends like a dream, but it has that beautiful dewy look. I'm just blending that out with the BK Beauty 112. I'm going back in with my foundation brush just to make sure it is blended perfectly. Going in with concealer next. This is the Hourglass Vanish Concealer. It is literally so beautiful on the skin. It'll make you look airbrushed. So creamy, blends like a dream. This is one of my absolute favorites. So as you can see, I only applied concealer under the eyes, and that's so that I don't use too much product. So what I'm going to do instead is take the excess that's on my brush, and I'm going to use that to highlight the forehead. I'm going to go in, grab a little bit more, clean up the contour, and then also a little bit on the chin. And that's just going to make sure that I'm not using too much product, because we want to look flawless, but we also want to avoid looking cakey. I'm just using a BK Beauty A506 to blend in that concealer. This is one of my favorite brushes ever for concealer. Going back in with my foundation brush just to make sure everything is blended. And I'm even going to take my blush brush, no extra product, just whatever's on there, and kind of go over that. But I still have some blemishes peeking through and I really want to look flawless, so at this point I'm going to go in and spot conceal. This is the NARS Soft Matte Concealer in the shade Light 2.3, and I'm using a Doll 10 Pinpoint eye brush to spot conceal. Just tap that out very gently with my finger. I also like to work in 3 layers of setting spray just to make sure everything is staying put. So the first layer is going to go on after all our liquids are done. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray, one of my favorites. And before I set with powder, I'm just going to blend out any creases. I'm going to use the Makeup Forever Ultra HD setting powder today. Again, this was literally made to look good on camera, so it's perfect for this sort of thing. And I'm going to use a little powder puff to pick up the product. And you're going to tap off any excess on the palm of your hand, and then we're going to push the product into the skin. This is such a beautiful powder. Like I said, it photographs beautifully, but it also just blurs your imperfections, gets rid of any texture. Just look at how much better this side looks compared to the unpowdered side. And that's just going under the eyes, on the forehead, the chin, and under our contour. I'm also going to do the smile lines because I tend to crease a lot here. And you also want to do down the neck so that we don't get any makeup transfer onto our outfit. Now we're going to go over our contour with a powder bronzer. This is the Sigma Matte Bronzer in the shade Light. I really love this one. The undertone is perfect, blends like a dream. And now I'm going to go in with the Haus Labs Pomelo Peach Blush. I'm just going over where we applied our liquid blush. This double layering technique is just going to make sure our makeup stays on all day and our blush is blushing all day, because blush is one of the first things to fade. I'm even just going to take a little bit of product and go in right under the eye, up toward my forehead. Not a lot though, like literally whatever product is left on the brush. Now that powders are done, I'm going to go in with a second layer of setting spray. So I like to do my base first, that's just what I prefer, but if you like, you can do your eyes first and then do the base. Okay, we're gonna start the eyes by prepping with either a concealer or a primer. This is just the same Hourglass concealer I used, and then this is the P. Louise primer in the shade Rumor 2. I'm just gonna use concealer today, so it's one less product you gotta buy. I'm just blending that in with my finger, and I haven't had nails on in so long, but I'm getting them done tomorrow, and I'm just gonna miss like being able to use fingertips. I also like to set it with a bit of powder. I just find this makes blending eyeshadow easier. And I'm going to use this for the first time today. This is the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette. I just got this during the Sephora sale. I'm so excited, but I just feel like it's a good palette to use because you got a lot of neutrals. But you can basically just follow the shape of how I'm laying the eyeshadow down and just do whatever colors work with your outfit. And it really doesn't have to be this palette, but just pick up a medium brown shade. I'm picking up this one here. And I always tap off any excess product so I don't get fallout. And this is gonna be our transition shade. We're just blending that into the crease. And I'm also kind of dragging that up and out. Now I'm taking a Sigma E25 and I'm picking up this darker brown. I'm gonna pack that on the outer corner of the eye just to create some more definition. And I'm kind of working it up and out again, following that like kind of winged snatched shape. I just feel like that looks best in pictures. Taking that same dark brown on the lower lash line. Just a quick update on the palette. So far, I'm loving her. Going back in with our fluffy brush, I'm not picking up extra product, I'm just blending. Now I'm going to take a tiny little angled brush. This is a Sigma E06, and I'm picking up this dark brown right there. And I'm going to use that to add a little bit of a shadow wing but I don't want it to be too dark. I want to keep this look kind of light. But yeah, I just start from the corner of the eye, pull that outward, and then sort of connect. And you know what, I'm also just kind of going back and forth to smoke it out a little. I'm going to go back in with our transition shade and kind of blend that out. I just want it to be more like smoked out, you know, not like a harsh line. Here's a little tip for you as well. If you want to clean up your eyeshadow, you can take a flat brush like this one, pick up some powdered eyeshadow, pressed powder, and then just stamp that along the eye. And see how it's just creating a sharp angle. So much cleaner, just looks better. I found this at the drugstore yesterday. It's the NYX Ultimate Glow Shots. This is in the shade Golden Goji, and I'm actually just gonna take some on the back of my hand. I'm gonna tap that on the lid. If you don't want to go out and get this, because for a drugstore product it was kind of expensive, you can just use a shimmery champagne shade. I'm just gonna blend that out with our brush from earlier. No extra product, just kind of blend out the shimmer. Now that eyeshadow's done, I'm going to quickly fill in my brows. You can fill them in however you like. I'm just using the NYX brow pen in the shade Ash Brown. My only recommendation would be to go in with a really strong brow gel. This one here is my favorite. It is the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. Now we're going to go in with some mascara. This is the Lancome Lash Idol. I don't know, my French is not so good. Now for lashes, I would recommend a half lash for two reasons. One, they're easier to apply. Two, you're not gonna get that lifting in the inner corner because that always looks horrendous in pictures. I'm gonna go in with my favorite lashes. These are the Kiss Pompadour lashes, and I'm gonna cut them right there. And I'm also gonna apply these using my favorite trick. I've been doing this for years. It was actually like, I think my second YouTube video ever. But what I do is I take a light layer of glue and I apply that directly to my lash line. And then I take another layer and that's just gonna go on the lash band. Wait for that to get tacky and then just pop them on. I'm also just gonna take a little tool and kind of clamp the lashes together and make sure they're blended in with your natural lashes. This is literally the best hack. It's just gonna make sure your lashes stay on through anything, any happy tears, any sort of tears really. I don't know, my prom was really dramatic. And honestly, this looks gorgeous. You can leave it at that, but what I like to do just for a little extra drama is take that little leftover bit and we're gonna add that on top. And I'm gonna pop that right on the outer corner. You also want to make sure there's no glue showing in any of your pictures, so you're just going to go over it very lightly with a black eyeliner. And a little trick to make your lip last longer is take some powder on a powder puff and press that over your lips. And then you're going to go in with a good long-wearing lip liner. This one is by L'Oreal. It's the color Riche Matte in the shade 114 Matting Call. This is such a beautiful, beautiful nude. It is so creamy. And I always go for a nude shade just because I love a good nude and I think it matches most things. I'm just filling in the lip a little bit, blend that out. Now I'm going to go in with one of my favorite lipsticks. This is the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in the shade Penelope Pink. It is such a beautiful nude shade. And I love the formula. I find them pretty long wearing. You could also go in with a liquid lip, but me personally, I hate liquid lipsticks. They just feel so dry. You could also go in with a lip gloss, but you will have to reapply that a lot more often. And it does tend to break down any lip liner, even if it is long wearing. And now that the makeup is all done, we're gonna go in with our third layer of setting spray. It's the One Size Until Dawn. This one is one of my favorites. And we are done. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. Feel free to leave me a comment down below. I love chatting with you guys in the comments. If you like this vibe, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Love you.